Alright, now that we already have the model completely UV'd, so we have the UV all in place, we can actually start doing the texturing part of it. And to do so, first we are going to get this checker UV out. So we are going to the shading tab right here, click, and then we're going to click on the texture node here, X to delete, and then we are going to create a new one. So we are going to press Shift A and then search, and we are going to search for image texture. There we go. So again, this way, if we connect the color to the base color, we have our model that is completely black. And we are going to create then a new texture here that's still going to be completely black this time. And we are not going to need the alpha, so I'm going to toggle it off and then change the name here to base color, since we are going to texture the color of this robot now. Alright, so be sure to have this node selected, because when we have it selected, we go to this texture paint, and then we are going to have the base color texture here, the one that we've just created. Right, so here we are going to have something that's quite similar to what we had in the UV editing tab. It's just different because now we are able to paint. And as we can see, when we paint it here, it paints in the robot as well. So here we have the UV that we created. So we can texture things in the UV space, like so. But then you may not know where exactly this is going to. And we can also paint things in the 3D view. So for example, I have it here. I'm going to paint it here, and it's going to update here as well. So we can choose to use either one of these. But what we are actually going to do is a little bit different. We are not going to brush things like this. We are going to fill colors. So for example, I can use this tool right here. So I'm going to click on it and then click here, and then all the model is going to become white. And this may be what you want, but in our case, that's not what we are looking for. We want some colors in different parts of the body. And to do that, we can mask some parts out and then only paint the parts that we've masked. So for example, I press M, and then we are going to see that this icon here turns blue. So M again, and it turns kind of gray again. So M, and there we go. And as we see, nothing actually happened. It's basically because everything is selected. If we press Alt A, all the model becomes kind of grayed out. And that's because it is all masked. So if we want to take out some mask, we need to select the face. And to select the face, let me first get this guy here. So let me click it, and then here. All right. So again, M to go in and out from the mask selection mode. And then to select faces here, we press Shift and click. So this way we can select multiple parts of the body. Well, this is a way to select things, but I don't think this one is too fast. I prefer to go back to edit mode. So while in here, I'm going to press Alt A to deselect everything. So I prefer to go to edit mode, so tab, edit mode, and then what we have selected. So for example, here I'm going to select the head and press L to select linked. When we go back, so tab, texture paint, it is all selected. So for me, it's easier to go to edit mode to select the parts that I want to paint. But if you don't think so, you can always come here and select things here as well using L. But in this case, since we are using the face, it's going to select respecting the UVs that we have. In edit mode, we can use, for example, the add selection, and then select all the object that's separated. So here, for example, I want the head and the boots to be the same color. So that's why I have it all selected here. I'm going back to texture paint and then going to choose the color. We can choose this color here, we can choose it here, we can choose it pressing N and then going to tool. We can choose the color here as well. But since it's already up here, I'm going to click this button and then choose the color. This one, I want to make it green, but like a darker green. So like this, and then I'm going to click. And there we go. We have the colors on the places where we've masked. So here is the head and the boots. All right. Now the other places that I want to texture with the same color. Let's see, I'm going to press M to go out from the mask selection mode. And then I'm going to select the things that I want to be metallic. So kind of like grayish tone and things like that. So I'm going to select the leg links, the fingers, and this part here of the antenna. So again, I'm going to press M just to go to mask selection mode, and then I am going to edit mode, so it's easier for me to select. Going to select the leg links and the fingers, all pressing L. And here, since I wanted to respect the island, the UV island, I changed it to 3, so to face select mode, and then going to press L here, so it's only going to select the cable here. I don't actually know if it is called a cable, but yeah, that's it. Now we go back to texture paint, so tab, texture paint, and then we see that those things, they are selected. Now I'm going to change the color to something a little bit more gray. So I'm going to get the saturation all the way down, the value here all the way up, and then make it a tad little bit blue, like so. And then I'm going to click. So it's going to fill all the items that I have masked, or unmasked in this case, right? Okay, so let's see. The next one that we need to color would be the lens. So the lens, they are black at the moment. I want it to be kind of bluish. So I'm going to select the faces of the lens, and then again go to texture paint. So here I'm going to select these faces, shift select these faces as well. I'm using the box select tool. So here, box select, shift, box select, and then we select the faces here of the lens. And then tab, let's go texture paint. And then here we don't see anything because we are not in mask selection mode. Now we are there. We can change the color to be a little bit brighter, like so, and then bluish, so somewhere around here it should be good. And then click to fill. So M again to go out from the mask selection mode. And then let's see. Now I want the hands and this base of the antenna to be the same color. I want it to be red. So again, go into edit mode, Alt A to deselect the things that I don't want. And since here I want just the base, I'm using face select, so it respects the seams. So I'm going to press L here, so it selected the base. And then for the hands, we don't need it to respect seams. So I'm going to change it to add select, and then select the hand and the other hand. All right, now we go back to texture paint. Press M to go into mask selection mode, and then choose the color. I'm going to use the color here this time, and I want it to be kind of red, and click. All right, so every time that we add a new color, we can see that it updates here. So that's basically how it works. And then let's go for the, let's see. Okay, so I want the arms to be a little bit different as well. So I'm going to press M here. The arms are black at the moment. I want them to be like a darker gray or something like that. So let's select the arms. Shift A to deselect everything. L and L in these arms. And then tab, texture paint, M to go to mask selection mode. And then going to make this a little bit darker. Oh, actually, let me click here just so I can get the saturation down to almost 0. That should be good. Actually, the saturation 0. And then click. All right. Now we have the arms in a different color. So pressing M, we can see how it is. And the last thing that I'm going to change, because the rest I wanted to be black. Don't worry, you can change the colors the way you want. This is your robot, so you can make it your own style. So you can, if you want, you can even use the brush. So you can come here and paint and things like that. Just remember that you can mask things, so you're not going to draw on places where you've already finished texturing. So I'm going to press M here again. Then the last one that we are going to texture here is this little sphere here at the top of the head, actually at the top of the antenna. So again, I'm going back to fill and then go to edit mode, Alt A, and I'm going to select the entire sphere here. So tab, go to texture paint, and then from fill, we change the color to this one. I want it to be yellow. So gonna click here and boom. Whoops. Don't forget to go to mask selection mode and then click, and there we go. Now we have the texture complete, actually the base color complete. And this is our robot in the solid view. If we want to actually see how it's going to be when in material, we check this one here. So it doesn't look like this is very metallic, right? And it's a robot. So we should have a way to make a change. And there are parts of the robot that's non-metallic. So I also want to be able to change that. And to actually make it work, first of all, let's save this texture here, just to be sure. And to do that, we are going to bring the mouse cursor to the UV view. So I'm going to press Alt S. Alt S is going to save your texture. And here is going to save basically where the boy bot is. And then I'm going just to click this button here. So save as image. Boom. And there we go. It's finished. Now, the next one, we are going back to shading, because now we want to be able to control where in this model is going to be metallic or not. Because if we change it from here, everything is going to be metallic. And that's not what we want, because, for example, I don't want the lens to be metallic. I don't want the base of the antenna to be metallic. And I don't want the top of the antenna to be metallic. The rest of the robots can be. So it's going to be basically the same thing. We are going to create a new texture. So I'm going to press Shift A, search image texture. And we are going to create a new one. So I'm going to click here and I'm going to keep it as 1K texture and change this one to be metallic. And there we go. All the rest can be the same. So okay, okay. And then we are going to change this color space here to be raw or non-color. Both of them are fine. I will keep it raw. Because metallic is not actually a color. It's not going to be an RGB value. So it's not something that's going to factor in the actual color, the albedo of your model. This one is just like a bunch of data, but placed in a texture. So we can show the shader, this guy here, that I want certain part of the body to be of that specific type. In this case, metallic. Then, okay, so we are simply going to click this metallic and then get here from color and place it at metallic. All right, so now that we have it, I'm going to click here on the metallic. Be sure that this one is the one that is active, so it is highlighted in white like this. And then we can go back to texture paint. All right, so here in texture paint, we can see that it's still the same thing. That's basically because the texture is all black. So if it is all black, it means that there is no metallic. So black is 0 and white is 1. 1 means completely metallic. So we are just going to use these two values. So black and white, and that's all. And in this case, since most of the robot is metallic, what I'm going to do is color it completely white. So I'm going to come here and boom, click here. Because this way I'm going to get the entire UV space to be metallic. And as we can see, now this is all metallic. So this is a little bit shinier and has that, well, metal feel to it. All right, so let's continue. Now let's get the parts that we don't want to be metallic. And these are going to be the lenses, the arms like rubber, the base of the antenna, and the top sphere right here. So let's go to edit mode and select the things that are non-metallic. So I'm going to press 3 here because I want to select this part. Also want to select the lenses, so shift and select all the faces. And also I'm going to press 2 here now because I want to select the entire arms. So select here and here, pressing L, so we select linked parts, and then we can go back to texture paint. Nice, now that we are here, we can't forget to go back to the mask selection mode, and then here we are going to paint it all black. Since the secondary color here is black, I can press X, and then it's going to reverse the colors. So it's going to swap it. All right, so this way I'm just going to click and that's it. Now we have the places where I'm going to click again because I saw something that was kind of weird here. So click sometimes just to be sure. And then, yep, that looks like it has done the thing, has done the work. So now the arms looks a little bit more rubber-like. And here as well, okay, it's not metallic. And this part here as well is not metallic. Very nice, very nice. So now we have the metallic texture complete. And I want now to add just a little bit more variations to this here. So at the moment, everything is shiny and things like that. But I want, for example, the lens to be a little bit more mirror-like. I want it to be a little bit shinier than other parts. I want, for example, the arms to be less shiny, for example. And basically, the non-metallic parts I want to be less shiny than the metallic parts. And to do that, we are going to create another texture. So we are going here to shading again. And oops, let's not forget to save this texture. So I'm going here with the cursor in the UV space here. So Alt S. And then this one's metallic. Going to save as image. All right, so going back to shading, now we are going to create a new texture. Shift A, search, image texture, there we go. And then we are going to create a new one. But this time, let me change the name to roughness because that's what we are going to change. This time I wanted the color to be half the value. So I want it to be 0.5 here, because things that are 0.5 is at a neutral stage, let's say. And when we go up this value, it becomes less shiny, like almost like it is completely dry and there is no reflections at all. And going down from it, things becomes like a mirror. So I'm going to keep it on the middle like this, so 0.5. All right, and now that we have this, I'm going to press OK, and there we go. We just need to get, oh, actually this value, so color space, we change it to raw as well, because it's not color. So things that are not going to be color, we can change it to non-color or raw. Then here, color, I'm going to bring it all the way here to roughness. Nice. As we can see, it didn't change. That's basically because the texture that we've created had the same value as the roughness that was here. So that's expected. Then let's go to texture paint. And now, if we paint it with something like black, let me use the brush just so it becomes more apparent, more interesting to see. I'm going to brush on it, and then we see that it becomes like a mirror of some kind. Oh, actually, it's not becoming like a mirror because I'm painting white, and so this is actually not becoming a mirror at all. This is not shiny at all. So if I invert the colors, now it is like a mirror. There we go. So that's the effect. So I'm going to press Ctrl Z here to go back. And we are going to do something that's quite similar to it, but we are going to use the fill and that technique of masking out stuff. So first of all, we are going to mask the lenses. So I'm going to edit mode and then Alt A to deselect everything. I'm going to press 3 to go to face selection mode. Select the lenses. So shift select this one as well. Then tab texture paint. M to go into mask mode. And here we are just going to use black and white values. So the hue and the saturation should always be 0. Then I'm going to bring it up to something like let's see, 0.3 should do. Let's click the fill button a few times, and just to be sure, press M to see what happened. Yeah, it doesn't look bad, but it also doesn't seem to be affecting that much. So I'm going to make this a little bit darker. Let me try something like this. So 1.8. All right, M again. And yeah, now we can see something. All right. So now it is reflecting the world a little bit more. Okay. And now for the rubber parts, and for example, the arm, the base of the antenna, and the top, we are going to add values that are higher than 0.5. So let's go there. Tab, edit mode, Alt A to deselect the things that are selected, and L to select linked, L to select this sphere right here, and this one I'm going to change to 3 because I wanted to respect the seams, L and L. Let me see. Yeah, it seems like the sphere is not actually completely selected, so pressing L here as well. And then now let's go back to texture paint. Okay, M to go to the mask selection mode, and then I'm going to change the color here. So going to click on this white value and bring it down just a tad like this. So 0.85 should be good. And then click to fill. So click a few times just to be sure. And there we go. So this way, we already have our model completely textured. We've created the base color, the metallic, and also the roughness of the model. And now you can say that this is complete in a way, because in the next video, we are going to create the rigging. And basically in this other video, we are going to show what this rigging is and stuff like that. So before we end this one, don't forget to save your metallic texture as well. So cursor here in the UV space, Alt S, and then save as image. And that's basically it. I'll see you in the next video for the rigging.